We work so you can play.
Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and I want to show you something. If you're on our Facebook page, you probably already can guess what I'm about to show you. What I am going to show you is not a Harrowspecs and a few Hormagaunts. It's not a Harrowspecs and a lot of Hormagaunts. Nor is it a Harrowspecs with a lot of Hormagaunts and a Carnifex. Nor is it a Harrowspecs a lot of Hormagaunts and Carnifex, blah 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 Shazam! Yes, this is my entire Tyranid collection. It is humongous, although it's not done yet. Still have actually quite a few things I still want to add. I was just talking to Chris and just kept mentioning more things. I am a collector. I think out of all the things in this hobby, you can be a collector, a gamer, a painter, a converter. There's a few different roles that you could really like. Terrain builder, for example. I think out of all of them, I'm definitely a collector and a gamer above all, because I don't like painting, don't even like assembling. Terrain is cool to play on, but I don't like making it. But definitely a collector. I get a lot of satisfaction, even though a lot of these were not painted by me. Now, when I posted the picture on Facebook, somebody's like, "Doesn't really count when you buy them at relatively cheap and get somebody else to paint them." And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. You think whatever you want, because I get to play with all these Tyranids. And besides, I've been working on these for about 6 or 7 years, and I actually have painted a lot of them, quite a few. Now that so many more have been added, that percentage is starting to dwindle. And hey, I'm not afraid to say that I got other people to paint my miniatures, because I love this collection. Like, look at it. It's awesome. Even though I have like these Icenids over here, and this one random purple Leviathan guy that I got off of eBay like 6 years ago and tried to sell and nobody wanted it. But that's okay. I'm not saying I'm selling it now. Yeah. I do eventually want to. There's a few more things I want to add, and I'll talk about that in this video. But let's look over this. At the end of this video, I'm going to do some nice shots with the camera on the tripod. So you'll get some pretty shots there. So you can skip ahead of that if you don't want to hear me talk. It'll have some nice music behind it too, just to get you excited for it. The reason I got all these out is because I'm actually preparing for the Apocalypse Games, plural, and the Fate of Fayoum Tyranid Necron campaign. So I thought while I was getting out so many points, I might as well get them all out and showcase them, because people keep asking me to do that. And I'm finally at a point where I'm not waiting for any more to get painted. So this is really what it is right now. I do have plans to add more, but I have not really put any of those plans into motion yet. But we'll talk about what I want to add. So what do I have, first off? Well, if we look at the Icenids, we got a ton of Termagants with Spine Fists, Hormagaunts, a few Warriors, and then we got this Leviathan Flying Hive Tyrant, really old school. It's metal with converted wings from some other kit. And then we got the rest for my High Fleet Charon, as I have now officially named it, using this campaign, of course, as the catalyst to naming it. Got tons of Hormagaunts, probably about 130 or 140 of them. Not nearly as many Termagants as I would like. It's just a group of 30 and 25. And you might think, oh, just. But when you have a collection like this, Termagants, you kind of need a lot of Termagants. Not that they're any good, but just because if you're collecting, it makes sense to have lots of Gaunts. We got like 50 gargoyles over here. We've got 50 Gene Stealers. We've got tons of Warriors and Raveners, and then all the bigger guys, of course. Tyrannifexes, Flying Hive Tyrants. We've got 3 Turbogons, 7 Carnifexes, 2 Trigons, 2 Molochs, 2 Swarmlords actually, so I'll just use one as a double bone sword Hive Tyrant. And then of course our big guys, like this Hierophant, this big old Biotitan. And then the little Chekidoud. This thing used to look gigantic when I got it back years ago, because it was up against a Carnifex, which now looked tiny. But then you put it up against a Tyrannifex, and it's still a little bigger, but not by much. So, and of course we got our Harpy and Hive Crone, so there's our Harpy, and then our Hive Crone over here. So all sorts of stuff. Now what do I want to add to my collection? Well, I feel that the collection won't be complete until I add the following. Number 1, a whole bunch of Termagants. Like probably another 100, maybe 200 Termagants. And we're talking like complete here, like it's not what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Number 2, flying Tyranid warriors. Other words, Tyranid Shrikes. So they're the fast attack warriors. I want to add about 15 of those. I want to add more, number 3, more warriors, because the close combat warriors that I got from Den of Imagination have been working just awesomely. And I didn't realize that Tyranid warriors could be so good in close combat. And so I have all the other ones. I got like 15 of them just with with ranged weaponry, but I need to... I know I could just Wizzy, or I could just proxy, but I really don't like proxying if I don't have to. I do proxy things, especially my Hive Tyrants, just because there's so many different options that it's just nice to be able to do that, and the Carnifexes too. But I try not to proxy if I can help it. So I want another, I don't know, 9 to 15 regular warriors with like bone swords and maybe armed with death spitters as well, just to kind of give that one. So I want more of those. Anything else from the normal stuff that I want? Don't think so. Oh yeah, I want like another group of Biovores. I got 3 Biovores right now, but they've been working so well for me that I'd like 3 more. Maybe 3 more Venomthropes. Although I don't like bringing more than... I don't think I'd ever bring more than 3 Venomthropes because they're just so good that it might feel a little cheesy, unless I'm against a really hard list. But that's just for my regular battle reports. I'm talking about for campaigns. I don't like to bring that kind of stuff. Another Harpy and another Hive Crone, because you shouldn't just have 1 of each. You should have 2 of each. So what is that, number 4 or number 5 of things that I want? I have enough Trigons and Molochs, enough Tyrannifexes, Turbogons, and Carnifexes. Plenty of Raveners. I think I have 18 Raveners now. Okay, so Forge World-wise, now the Tyranid Shrikes, of course, are just basically warriors with wings, and you got to buy those wings from Forge World, unless you're going to convert them from something else yourself. But I would like, of course, a Harridan, the big, humongous flyer. It makes this Hierophant look small, from what I've heard. And I've also like a Scythe Hierodual. So this is a barbed Hierodual. So the Scythe Hierodual looks similar to this, except it's double Scything Talons, and it has a big Hellstorm template, and it's really good in close combat as well. And that's just for sake of completeness. It's not necessarily the most competitive thing, but it does the job. I think that's all I really want to add. I think that'll be another 5,000 or 6,000 points though. So the total points, I did a calculation. Tossed it all in Army Builder, did the best that I could to kind of give them the upgrades that I would normally give them. So this is not like giving them every single upgrade they can possibly have. It's more like the upgrades that I would normally give them. And the total points value of what you see here is 15,490. So give or take, depending on the upgrades. If I gave them like every single upgrade, I could probably up that by a couple thousand points at least, but it wouldn't really be representative of how many points this is. So that is my Tyranid army. People have been asking me for a while to showcase it. Took me 2 hours to set up, I think. Yeah, almost 2 hours to set up just so I could make a short 5-10 minute video. So I love you guys, so I had to show it off. So leave your comments below what you think. If I'm missing anything that I should be adding besides what I already told you, let me know in the comments below. So this is Matthew from MiniWarGaming. Happy wargaming and enjoy these wonderful videos at the end here.